Second one for the day. I came across this video and let's just review it together. A cult of Hex. This fella did it upper echelon. He does these expose videos and whatnot about a year ago. And then he's doubling back down right now with the collapse of Hex, a financial cult, as he says. So let's review it. So you're going to want to stick around, stay tuned, like and subscribe. Let's get straight into this one. Let's just watch it together. Take a listen.
All right. About a year ago, I made a documentary, a short one, about this thing called Hex. At the time, I was trying to showcase that this investment community was a cult, and I put some work into making an intro, which I'm going to play again right now, except I'm going to play a slightly modified version based on where things are today versus where they were back then. Here it is.
2 years ago, I was in a horrible place in my life. I was homeless, I was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and I was divorcing my wife by then. I had no hope, no goals, and I was just living day to day. Then I found out about Richard, and he helped me so much with his self-help books and videos that it changed my life completely.
Everybody, Richard Hart here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse.
This is crazy. For the guy to say Richard changed his life with the self-help book and everything, and this dude to just flash it right back to this version of Richard is insane. That's a low blow. That's not fair.
My $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
I was so thankful to find somebody who could now help me and give me the motivation to be successful in life. I started learning about Hex, and it made me financially free. This was the point when Hex Lion and I started a YouTube channel. We understood that we have an amazing financial product in front of us that will make us financially free. And now we have to build a community. We have to bring our friends and families along with us on this journey.
For me, it takes on new meaning as time goes on. The first part of it was monetary success. The next part of it comes that you feel like you're part of a community, some different type of community that, is not looking for money, but is already got their capital, and they're doing things and they're making things happen. A lot of love going on. There's a lot of overlapping care. Hexkins helping Hexkins, and everyone's got open arms,
Yeah, shout out to the Hexicans, man. They have a very strong bond. That's one community that just, man, they stick with Richard.
Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man.
So as far as people in cryptocurrencies go, I'm basically like a god.
Just call us Hexicans.
77, 46, 77.
You want 5,000 hex. Your future is pretty much set. You don't have to work ever again in your life.
I did the calculation for my...
This is crazy, man. They got the little girl winning 5,000x and telling her your futures that you don't have to ever work again in your life, and now it's worth $9. But again, this is the bottom of the bear. As you can see, Hex haven't woken up yet. So we see what it does, with this lawsuit and everything.
Friend, right? And I staked out 5,000 hex for my friend for 10 years, and I did the calculation. Bro, you're a millionaire already.
Yeah, they're financially free, all right. Free from their savings at least, but more so than laughing at the idiocy of a financial cult, because that's what Hex is and always was. Today I want to go over where we're at today, because the landscape of 2024 is wildly different when compared to the end of 2022. Basic overview, Hex is one of the largest Ponzi schemes in history, but semantic games and equivocations run rampant here as people try to pretend that it isn't somehow a Ponzi scheme because they used a couple different words to describe it. No, I'm not kidding here. That's literally what happened. See, Hex was allegedly not a security because Richard Hart, aka Richard Schuller, told everyone to sacrifice their money for it instead of just buying it. Sure, yes, if you sacrificed a certain amount of money, you'd be given a certain amount of Hex because you were buying it. But no, it's not the traditional established financial mechanism here. It's this brand new concept that just does the exact same thing. Again, this was a financial cult, but it gets better because in mid-2023, the next phase of Richard Hart's plan went live called pulsechain, which immediately fell apart. The fee structure imploded, the system seized up completely for a while, multiple exploits allowed attackers to steal millions of dollars in liquidity, and at the same time, the price for all three scheme tokens, I'll call them, Hex, Pulse, and pulsex, cratered by like 30% in a couple of days. To be clear, this is a group of quasi-religious, desperate finance bros who traveled around the country trying to sell this scheme to as many people as possible, hyping up actual children and telling them you're financially free, you never have to work again in your life because they got $9 worth of a crypto scam. It sounds utterly ridiculous, right? But remember, this project had a market cap in the billions of dollars, and the charismatic leader, Richard Hart in this case, built his entire persona on extravagant personal wealth for no reason. He's basically Bling Boy from Johnny Test in real life. Well,
that's also not fair. When Hex was going on, he didn't really start blinging and showing off his luxury life until the sacrifice phases of pulsechain began. I think he felt like he won Hex. He had already done a 10,000x, so he had to market himself out there, and that's the mistake he made. I don't know if it was a strategic move by him, but I don't think that was wise for him to do that.
Well, happily, we have an update with much better news, because even though people were aggressively ignoring the problematic signs back then meaning end of 2022, at least when I covered it, the painfully slow but still turning wheels of justice kept moving, and now we have an actual case brought by the SEC for misappropriating millions upon millions of dollars and selling unregistered securities. Turns out, if you say something like, "It doesn't cost anything to get into this club. There's no entry fee. You just have to put a donation in that jar over there, and if it's a donation that happens to be larger than $10, then you can get in. But I'm not charging an entry fee, so don't think that, okay?" Yeah, it turns out that simply calling an established concept by a new name or pretending a new set of words describe it doesn't actually change it into something else. Anyway, the SEC filed an official complaint. They had trouble serving him in his Helsinki address for a while, but they finally got it through, which claims that he misappropriated millions of dollars, thereby stealing from the members, which are supposed to be his flock if we're sticking with the cult metaphor here. Very shameful, Richard. And used that money to personally enrich himself, buying all manner of expensive luxury items, including a 555-carat black diamond, the largest in the world as well, called Enigma. Despite all of this, and there's much more, by the way, I'm just condensing it all down for the sake of time, people still, to this very day, support him. Here's a video from 2 days ago, where the guy has an entire section about how Richard Hart is superhuman, and when his back is against the wall, he can figure out the right move because he's special and somehow better than the rest of us, and we all just are at his beck and call. We're followers. Keep in mind, Richard Hart
Well, he does have those moves, though. Why do you think that the whole cult is around him? Because he has the ability to do that. He has done it. It has been proven, tried, and tested. The problem with videos like this is like they always highlight the negative. But what's the positive that came out of Hex before it dropped 97% or something from all-time high? 99% or whatever from all-time high. The positive is just the fact that, I would say it here, more than 2,000 people saw their first $1 million because of Hex. So it's not just the negatives, there's also a positive aspect. The fact that he put out self-help books out there and he introduced people to crypto. He onboarded so many people into crypto and he literally taught them about the first principles of crypto, the ideas of self-custody and how you shouldn't hand your keys to decentralized exchanges. You're going to lose your coins. Richard Hart put a lot of education into the Hex community. They're really smart, especially Hexicans. Most of them are like far advanced to your regular crypto users. So it's not just negative stuff, but yeah, shout out to Sami for believing. But now He's got a whole chain now. And I don't believe this SEC stuff, he's going to lose it. I think he's going to win it. He can pull it off.
Eviscerated the value of his own scheme as he tried to migrate from the original Hex to a new platform. You saw that intro, right? Everybody saw the intro with the guru guy, like, yeah, man, everybody's got their capital, man. But the Hex token underpinning the entire movement got rug pulled when Richard Hart publicly said on social media, it's not even the real one. He tanked the current price by over 60% at the time when he said that, and brought down the market cap by over $1 billion. But people still defend this guy with evangelical zeal, as if he can somehow...
Yeah, that was a bad move, Ricky. That was a really, really bad move. That one kind of put me off for a minute, because I've been DCAing on eHex for like a year. This dude come out and say stuff like this, man. You should have said it during post-chain sacrifice phase. Hey guys, when post-chain goes live 2 years from now, please sell all of your eHex. The liquidity is going to be moved to pHex. There's only going to be one hex. That's it. That's all he had to say, and everybody would have done it the moment post-chain went live. But he was kind of dragging people along, like, hey, if you say stuff like, I don't want to see cheap hex on any chain, or I think hex is going to be, there's still going to be value of it on the Ethereum side, people are still going to hold it because that's the OG hex. But, hey, hopefully he's just trying to shake out the BankX people. And if that's the case, yeah, that'll be cool. And I believe it is the case, because the OA on the Ethereum side have not dumped a single token. Because if the OA sell, that's it. We are wrecked. We're doomed. But he haven't, so that means there's still a slight little chance for eHex to come back.
Lift them out of poverty by spending all of their money on Prada and Gucci. I'm sorry, but I don't even really feel bad anymore. If people are that easily deceived, there's basically nothing that anyone could ever do to stop it or help them. And I certainly won't claim to be happy about it, nor should I. But on a certain level, it's becoming impossible to not just dejectedly laugh about it. Regardless, the SEC complaint is very comprehensive. I've read.
Apes.
All right. The SEC complaint is comprehensive and whatnot. I'm just saying, bro. Like, compared to FTX guy, Sam, compared to the Celsius people, I think Richard Hart he's not bad, bro. I don't believe it. I used to believe videos like this years ago, which caused me not to invest into Hex, but now I'm bullish on post-chain.
Contrary to what people in the crypto industry seem to believe right now, or at least contrary to what they're being told by influencers, the SEC has a very successful track record when it comes to crypto cases, and crypto cases against promoters in particular. There's this weird alternate reality intellectual bubble happening in crypto, where the moonshot Lamborghini type speculators think that the SEC is backing off or somehow losing relevance. But the truth is that they're actually picking up speed. The number of actions being taken year over year went up 53% in 2023, with 46 total enforcements. And I'm not going to sit here and say that they're doing a good job yet, not even close. But they're doing more every day compared to the legal environment previously, where the...
Yeah, that's true, but they also fumbled the bag. The SEC is not clean either, bro. Richard Hart's been tweeting about them. They have their hands dirty as well. And Gensler, I've been saying this. I've been making a lot of videos about this. Look at my last Hex and post-chain video. I mentioned this. He could resign. The BlackRock guys could literally force him out of office because of how much dirt he's got on his hand. This dude, he might have been in bed with Sam Bankman-Fried, with the Democrats and the Democratic Party and all this other stuff. He might have received some funds. I don't know, but I hate talking about these guys because, you always get jammed up and all this other stuff. But Gary Gensler is not like a clean, we know that the SEC is not that, they're not your saviors. Let's just say that. Let's just say that they're not your saviors. They made a lot of mistakes. That's probably why they lost that Ripple case. It was a slap in the face to all of them. And now at least crypto has some kind of advantage to win. Because if you keep taking down guys like this and Richard Hart, like, if you look back at what he did and study what Sam Bankman-Fried did and what the Terra Luna guys did, or FTX, Celsius, Richard is a saint compared to all of those guys. He's not that bad of a guy. That's what I'm trying to say.
Con artists and scammers could just do whatever they wanted with no pushback whatsoever. Still, on rare occasion, when it becomes possible, watching someone who stole millions of dollars from gullible cult followers in order to buy Gucci pants and Prada bags when he starts squirming under pressure can be very satisfying, and that's what we get to do today, because the entire defense framework that Richard Hart is depending on is, freedom of speech. Quote, the SEC's case amounts to an unconstitutional infringement on the First Amendment's guarantees of freedom of speech and association for Mr. Hart and those who execute the Hex, pulsechain, and pulsex software programs. The complaint reads as a selective review by a disgruntled critic of hundreds of hours of Mr. Hart's public speech about blockchain technologies. The SEC seeks to recast Mr. Hart's live commentary into securities offerings and thereby penalize him for expressing his views about the technologies and their potential. This action also threatens to stifle protected speech uttered on the blockchain, including the computer code underlying software programs that the SEC aims to shut down, along with the free expression of thousands of people across the world who have etched their beliefs into the immutable digital ledger created by the software. End quote. That is a forward-thinking perspective right there. Lying to people in such a way that you can allegedly skim a ridiculous amount of money from a system you built and then using that money to personally enrich yourself, simultaneously tanking the value of their investments after pushing the entire thing as a guaranteed way to get rich in the first place, that is very bold.
Okay. He didn't push it as a guaranteed way to say it. He always said it, you know. I mean, it's right there. If you sacrifice, you sacrifice for freedom of speech. There was no guarantees, no nothing. Richard Hart is a smart dude. He never said, and this is the misconceptions that these people make, to say that he guaranteed anything. You know, he said it. He always, this is a saying in the Hex community, no expectation of profit from the work of others, and all these sayings, like he's saying this to protect himself. So in court, these arguments won't hold water. That's why I said I believe he's gonna win this case, bro, because they always looking at him, bad guy, Gucci and all this other, but he's a smart dude. 11 lawyers and some of the high profile lawyers, and they all working for him tirelessly, trying to get him to win the case. He's gonna pull it off because everything that he said he put in transparent from the beginning of Hex. He tried his best to make sure that this wasn't a Ponzi and it's not some kind of a scheme that he tried to siphon money and all this other stuff. There's no money laundering stuff going. It's just crypto stuff, bro. People do that. Founders do that all the time. It's pumpermentals and then there's dumpermentals. How do you pump your own tokens if you don't buy your own coins off the market? It's just recycling. It's easy, you know. People gave him their Ethereum. He gave them in exchange with these Hex tokens. He took the Ethereum from $100 per ETH, $200 per ETH. He waited until the market pumps. Ethereum goes to $1,400 or something, $3,000, $4,000, and then all of that, them gains that he made, he went back to buy back the Hex price alongside with market sentiment and everything. And the thing went up 10,000x. He was gradually actually doing it. It's a brilliant scheme. It's a brilliant scheme. So those who got in 2019, 2020, they saw the benefit in 2021. How do you pump a crypto coin? Let's ask ourselves, otherwise we are all criminals now. That's just the actual fact.
Freedom of speech. Okay, sure, fine. I'll play along on that. I mean, freedom of speech is a good thing, right? Is it freedom of speech to predicate an entire crypto token on the concept of you will get rich if you buy this, but then rig the economics to be perpetually inflationary? Is it freedom of speech to then organize a community where the sole guiding principle is to get more people to invest their money every day? Because if you don't get more fresh money all the time, you can't pay out the people who are staking it, and therefore they have no exit liquidity back into US dollars, which is 100% necessary if anyone is ever going to get rich. Is it freedom of speech to initially sell this investment by simply renaming the process of buying something to sacrificing for it? And is it freedom of speech to then disembowel the collective investments that everyone had after you made some new thing and decided, nah, that old thing that everyone purchased sacrificed for isn't the real one. This new thing is the real one, and that old one is just fake because I said so. Is it freedom of speech? Really? Is it? Call me unconvinced. Anyway, Alex Mashinsky, the architect of Celsius Network, which is another massive fraud in the crypto space, has been indicted on 7 criminal charges now. Not just a civil case, criminal charges.
All right, that's enough. You can clearly see that this dude is trying to compare Mashinsky to Richard again. They're complete different things. Richard was about pure DeFi and gameplay and game theory and all this other stuff. He wasn't out there selling you products like what Mashinsky wanted to be a bank. Mashinsky promised 20% a year on Celsius tokens, and he was taking that money, siphoning it from other, like he was taking investors' funds, recklessly dumping it into other investment schemes and losing money and then lying to those investors. Richard didn't do that. Richard practiced first principles and pure DeFi by saying, hey, nothing is guaranteed, no expectation of profit, all of this stuff. He told people that 30% API you see is not annual, like a guarantee that you're going to make money out of those Hex tokens. He made sure he protected himself. In fact, he was debating guys like Alex Mashinsky. Richard was against what they were doing. He was telling people right now, if you give your money to Celsius, you go to the website and you buy stuff, the Celsius token, and you stake it on them, you're not staking real. Come and stake with Hex, because if you stake with Celsius, there's middleman stuff. With Hex, it's your own keys. You choose to lock them up, and then when they unlock, you make your money. With Celsius, it's a middleman stuff. They hold your keys. They got your crypto, and he knew that. That's why he was advocating against it. He had a debate with Alex Mashinsky live. This is what, I'm mentioning before you compare Richard Hart to Alex Mashinsky is not fair. I think Richard is a way better man. He did better for DeFi than the Mashinskys and the FTX guys and the Terra Luna guys. 100%, man. Yeah. So, yeah, this was just a video review. But in conclusion, I'm just going to say this. Richard Hart, I did not sacrifice for pulsechain. I did not sacrifice for it. But shout out to Smart. Smart sent me my first few milli PLS tokens when I didn't have it on the blockchain. I had to send him some Ethereum. Smart said, send me ETH, I'll send you pulsechain. And because he sacrificed, I didn't. So he sent it to me, and I've been on the pulsechain blockchain since. It's amazing. The blockchain works fine, which will lead me to believe that Richard Hart could get off this case. The blockchain works fine. He delivered the product. Yes, it took 2 years. It took a very long time for the people who sacrificed to wait, but they got their money worth. When it launched, it actually did a little pump, and people did 2 or 3x or something like that. And then it went back on the sacrifice price, simply based off the news that came out that the SEC is going to sue him. People got scared and got out. That was the only reason. Otherwise, the blockchain that he promised to deliver, he delivered. So I don't think he's going to go to jail or get a massive fine over that. And that's the thing about crypto. Deliver the product. People are using the blockchain. It's a whole chain now. You can take him to jail, do whatever, but the chain is functioning. And you cannot stop a blockchain, bro. I don't know how the SEC is going to do that, but they can't stop it. Yeah. All people have to do now is just speculate on it, build on pulsechain, and do great things about it. And that's where I stand with all of this SEC stuff. I don't see Richard Hart as this big bad criminal and whatnot. He didn't steal your funds like the Sam guy did, but come on. That little dude did more damage to... He's in jail right now, and he's creating meme coins on Base, memeing people. He's still in crypto, causing damage and mayhem. Sam Bankman-Fried, come on, bro. How you compare dudes like that to this dude? Come on. So, yeah. Take it easy. This is just crypto. Shout out to hexicons and pulsecons, I guess. This thing is going to rip. I think it's not going to be 10,000x like what Hex did. But if you get a 100x, 150, if you get 1,000x, you're lucky. But it has to be where he's convicted. His lawyers are he's convicted within himself. He's got conviction that, yo, this, I can pull this off. His lawyers can help him get off the case. Once he wins that case, and you have that ripple effect, that XRP, the team, how the day, you know, they actually won the case against the SEC, that's what's going to happen. And I don't think Gary Gensler will be in office when that happens. I think by that time, the BlackRock guys would have pushed him out of office. Gary Gensler is going to resign. Did you see the other day people said Gary Gensler was about to resign, and then he come out and said, nah, they hacked my account again. I'm telling you, he's on his way out. He made a lot of mistakes, you know, like calling Ethereum not a security by definition, but then, you know, later on changing his mind. It's weird. Like, today is a security, tomorrow it's not. Give Ethereum the pass while the other chains are. It's odd. There's a lot of mistakes he did as well, laying in bed with SBF. People are not going to forget that, Gary Gensler. And yeah, use all of them things. If you're in crypto, especially Richard Hart and his lawyers, use all of them things against them and throw it back in their face. That's what Ripple did. That's why Ripple win the case. People always forget. I was there reading the back and forth of Ripple versus the SEC. Ripple always got angles where they hit the SEC with, punch them back and tell them, hey, you made a mistake here, 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 and there too. And the judge looked at it and said, man, XRP's been around since 2014, bro. This ain't no security. Throw the case out the window. And yeah, the only angle where they can really get Richard Hart on is the money that he spent on the luxuries, doing outrage marketing and stuff like that. But besides that, nah, I think he's Gucci, bro. Like up the video, share it, subscribe for some crypto content. I have been Mr. Nakamoto Crypto, and I'm out.